Over the years, I've microdosed off and on. I was in an off microdosing period when I got reintroduced to it through this company, Golden Rule. And it turns out that Tiffany Hurd, head advisor, is someone I knew from about a decade ago. So I had to have her on the podcast for you. And I had to try the products so we can express to you the science, the clarity, the groundedness, the focus, the I'm not going to say happy, but like the joy that's possible with these products and how that's going to support you in those moments when it's like, oh, can I repair the rupture? In this moment where like, oh, can I respond? I'm so afraid of rejection. In these moments where, oh, I really just want to be authentic, but what do they say? Like these moments of choice, how these beautiful natural plant medicines can support your most true expression and freedom to be who you are. So you're going to enjoy this incredible podcast with Tiffany Hurd and the results that I've been having in my life that I really want you to have as well. So enjoy. Welcome to Intimate Conversations, Season 13, Heart Broken Open, where intimacy is an inside job. Hello, and welcome, delicious ones, to another episode of Intimate Conversations. We're wrapping up Season 13, Heart Broken Open. And today we're going to be talking really about, you know how you have a rupture and you want to repair it in your relationship, yet you're afraid to get hurt again, and you're just all mumble jumbled up. And we're going to talk about how Golden Rule can really help you support you being in your body, keeping your heart open, and really having your best life and your best relationships. This gorgeous woman who's with me, Tiffany Hurd, we actually know each other from years ago, but the universe said, more please, with these two ladies coming together. She is the microdosing advisor and head of partnerships at Golden Rule Mushrooms. And she leads education, partnerships, and community initiatives. But beyond Golden Rule, she is a microdosing advisor, business leadership mentor, speaker with over a decade of experience pioneering the use of psychedelics for healing, growth, and professional development. She has supported more than 500 individuals and teams in unlocking clarity and creativity and emotional balance and resilience. God, I got shivers just as I'm talking right now, through intentional microdosing protocols. In addition to her advisory work, Tiffany facilitates high-dose psychedelic experiences for individuals and teams seeking breakthroughs, and mentor business owners and practitioners on how to safely and effectively integrate both microdosing and macrodosing into their businesses with strategic, structured, and practical implementational support. Today, this gorgeous lady supports individuals, executives, and teams in reaching peak performance through neuroscience-backed microdosing strategies, conscious leadership development, and innovative approaches that bridge psychedelics with business growth. We want you to learn more about this. I'll put this all in the show notes and say later, but it's goldenrulemushrooms.com/take our quiz. And we're even going to be able to give you a coupon so that you can give it a try right away, as I have. So, gorgeous woman, how just woman to woman, sister to sister. How are you today? How's your heart? How's your body? How's life today?
Thank you. Whew. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Thanks for having us on the show. Really excited to be here.
Yeah.
And overall, amazing. Truly, overall feeling amazing and emotionally feeling a lot. Sister to sister. We were just talking about it momentarily. My little dog, I love her so much. Going into surgery tomorrow. So, it's an emotional thing, it's our babies. So that's present, that's here. And also life, right? There's all this beautiful momentum and magic and connections, and there's so much happening and work in such a aligned, beautiful way. So it's really beautiful to witness it all being here and just moving through life, and grateful for the work to feel anchored and steady through, emotional things. And just overall grateful, truly. Yeah.
I love what you're saying, because literally just as the interview is to start, Muffin threw up everywhere. And I said, okay, there's paper towel there. We'll deal with it later. I said, I just need to light some nag champa, some incense so everything smells fine. But this is life. And I think, Tiffany, in the past, before I did I started my first ayahuasca journeys maybe 25 years ago, psilocybin journeys, and you know the work I do with my clients now. And then the integration of microdosing again with golden rule. Life happens,
Mhm.
emotions are there, but they don't take me out. I can integrate them and stay with you, with my cat, you with your dog, with the teams, the clients that we have. Um, Tell us how you how were you drawn to psychedelics? How did it begin to change your life? And now it is your embodiment, and you're such a leader.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So about a little over 10 years ago, I started working with microdosing. And I was in the corporate world. I was in a 16-year corporate healthcare position, business development, sales strategy, leading teams, growing territories, just go, 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 go. It's
Yeah,
never enough. Numbers, numbers, numbers. What's next? And I have a Division I basketball background, so I liked that at first. The competition, the money, the stability. I was like, yes, this is awesome. The competitiveness. And then
yeah,
I woke up one day and I was like, holy shit, I'm exhausted. I actually don't love what I'm doing. And so I started to go into personal development work, therapy, like starting to get into the work and loved it. And those paths were serving and incredible in their own ways, but I wasn't really getting into like the deeper aspects of what was creating anxiety, depression, burnout, all those sorts
right,
of things. And
right.
so I ended up going on medication. I was on Lexapro and Adderall for about 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 years, both of them.
Wow.
And as I was doing the work, like I said, I was going deeper and I'm like, okay, there's something else. I know I'm not meant to be on these medications. There's many things I had not processed to
Yeah, yeah,
give myself just some space. And so I started to hear about psychedelics.
yeah,
Not much because this was 10 years ago, so not a whole
sure.
lot mainstream. But enough to get the ping, enough to feel like, ooh, this is something that feels like I want to explore this. I had
Yeah,
access to microdoses. And so I ended up microdosing. And within 3 months, I was off both medications. I tapered off myself. I don't recommend that, but that was what I did at the time
yeah.
with psilocybin, and was truly feeling at that time in my life the most alive and present in my body than I truly had experienced before. And that's
Wow.
where I started to shift things in my career. But I stayed in corporate while I built business and built a microdosing business. And I was like, okay, how can I bring what I need to people who also want to experience this and learn how to work with it in a way that's effective? And that's what I started to do. And somewhere along the journey, I was in that for about 6 years. And I go, okay, well, I left corporate eventually, went back and forth a few times. But at the end of the day, I go, okay, I'm in this business full time. I love it. And I miss the business background, but I don't want to go back there. So how can
Yeah,
I merge these worlds?
yeah, yeah.
That's what I did. Yeah. So I started advising for companies, working with teams, and it all just started to come together and form. And here we are.
Wow. That's fascinating. Okay, this is so great. I've coached for 20 years. And even before I started using psychoactives or psychedelics with my clients, I could tell that I wasn't getting in there. I couldn't get into the body. I couldn't get them to feel a feeling all the way through to integration. And then, and it was just, I'm a pharmacist's daughter. I was around like all these drugs my whole life, but I never personally took any antidepressant or any of these. So I didn't have a personal experience of it. All I had was it was like a wall. It was like a veil. I couldn't get in there. And then slowly but surely, it was like a blind spot. I didn't even know to ask the question. But a lot of them were on these different medications. And the best I've got, Tiffany, is it's kind of like a ceiling. They can't go higher, and a basement, they can't go lower. So they can't go all the way in to integrate the feeling, nor can those deeper roots create the higher shoots to the oneness with the cosmos. They were just sort of
Yeah.
numb in the center. What was it like for you beginning to do therapy, beginning to do these different things for 6 years? And then what was the shift in those 3 months and then the weaning off? What was it like to be you in your body and with your feelings?
Mm-hmm. I resonate with that a lot, and it felt baselined. Like our emotions feel baselined, where you're not you feel better, but you don't feel much, or you don't
Yeah, well said.
feel as much as you want to feel, and you don't
Point.
really recognize that. At least I'll speak for self. I
Yeah,
didn't really recognize that until I started to feel. And that
right.
was really the pivotal for me was, you take my background and, we can go way back, but we'll start with college and even, in the medical field, being told what to do, being told how to train certain ways or things on my schedule being, it wasn't like my choice. It was my choice, but it was always somebody else's decision that I had to cater to in some sort of
Yeah,
way.
acquiesce to, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, when I started to work with the medicine outside of therapy and outside of personal development, those factors were very heady. It was still like get shit done,
Thank you. Yep.
structure. I loved it, but there was a softening that was different when I started working with medicine, and it was like a coming home, peaceful feeling where I heard my own voice, and I think I
Wow.
heard my own voice for the first time. Of course, she was there, but I wasn't listening.
Sure. She was
Busy.
probably muffled. Yeah.
Yeah, and too busy, just going, going, going. And it slowed me down, and I got still and I got present and I started to listen to what is this actually about?
Yeah.
And what is my truth? And who is she? And how does she want to speak? And how does she want to move? And how does she want to flow? And as soon as
Mm.
I started to do that, I was like, okay, she is here alive and well. And what do we want to do with all this energy?
Yeah.
So that was like, I mean, there's so much within that is like the foundation of life.
Yes.
And I was able to explore from that space.
I love this. I'm
Mhm.
even remembering, it's kind of a sad moment, but it's real. So I'll just say it. I remember when my mom was dying of cancer, one of the things she said to me is, I can't see, she called it, I can't see her anymore. She's behind a veil. She's
Mhm.
just so, she was so disconnected from her.
Mm.
So this coming home to our truth, to our voice, to our truth is our birthright. And
Mhm.
for whatever reasons, when we can't hear it, it's a very lone, at least for me, it's been a very lonely place.
Mhm.
Take us, because my experience is when we first start to feel, we get to feel the rapture of being alive, but we also feel the pain
Mhm.
of being betrayed. We have to feel that all the way to the core. So,
Mhm.
how has microdosing or macrodosing supported you in integrating what in the past might have felt incomprehensible, unfeelable, like I'm gonna die if I feel that level of sorrow, betrayal, shame, self-hatred,
Mhm.
these really
Mhm.
intense feelings? To me, it's sort of like you can live this little tiny aperture of life and not feel much. Or if you're gonna feel the rapture, you're gonna feel the pain too. You're gonna feel what it is to be a human. How did you
Mhm.
navigate that?
Mhm. Space and time and grace and patience and teachers and mentors and support and community and
Yeah.
gentleness. And it comes in different chapters and layers and phases. And, it's like layers start to come up and you be with that at that time and whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my journey, right? Of something is coming in, I give it the space. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's movement, sometimes it's stillness,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's going in the ice bath in the sauna. I mean, anything, right? All those beautiful
Right.
modalities for integration.
Yep.
And also checking in and having that self dialogue of what do I need right now? Like what's going to support this moment?
Yep.
And are there deeper layers that want to come through, or is this it for now? Am I okay with pausing and holding, not holding the weight, but holding the space and the grace of what's present to be with?
Mm.
Not, move forward from something that can really have a lot of healing in it if you give it the time,
Yes.
and tuning into that, and that's a
Yeah.
practice. And
Yeah.
so it looks like that a lot for me, and different in a lot of ways. And there's been times where it's deeper than that, and it needs time, or there's been moments where it moves quick.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I
yeah.
love this. How has, and so we can explain to the viewers and listeners, how does the actual science of this beautiful medicine? And so I like my shaman maybe 5 years ago began supporting me to say from the full moon No, from the new moon to the full moon, as you're building in your action, San Pedro, and then from the full moon to the new moon, as you begin to go inside and listen more feminine, do the psilocybin. I did that for a long time as I was on my first beginning journeys when I was integrating a lot of trauma. And it was very, very cyclical and supportive for me. So explain the science of how everything you just said in terms of feeling a feeling, all these different modalities and practices. It may go fast, it may go slow. So the rooted is the San Pedro, and I have the mini happy and the mini flow psilocybin, and there's many other products you offer. How does they support us healing?
Beautiful question. Yes. So the common thread that they all share is enhancing neuroplasticity, which is our brain's ability to be more adaptable and form new connections and be more open and inspired and motivated to actually go into the areas that we might have resistance to, or we may not be familiar with. It may be deeply stored in the body, somewhere in the subconscious, but it starts to support with the regions of the brain communicating more effectively or communicating at all.
Yes.
And there's new pathways that are being not only created, but our current pathways that are not communicating are, it's almost like a tunnel and it's clogged. All of a sudden the air is flowing through. So those are being executed. And that is so effective because when we're stuck in thought loop cycles or patterns, it's almost like we're in one of those pathways of the brain, and that's it. That's the one. And we're on this hamster wheel. And it's like, all right, well, why am I dating the same person with the same patterns? Why is this thing showing up?
Husband number 3 or whatever.
Number 3, what's going on with this? And so all of a sudden, we're working with these medicines, whether it's a low dose or a high dose. It's slightly, of course, different with how much neuroplasticity is established with how much medicine. But ultimately, it's allowing us to have more pathways so those thoughts and perspectives have more places to go, which essentially lead to new, fresh perspectives of viewing and seeing things. It's, I would say it lowers inflammation. So San Pedro is the most anti-inflammatory of San Pedro, LSD and psilocybin, of like the 3 main medicines to microdose with. San Pedro is the most anti-inflammatory. It has a high level of mescaline. It has over 56 alkaloids. It is amazing for nervous system regulation. All of them are, but there's like highlights with each. Now, LSD, let me go back to San Pedro, has a balance of serotonin and dopamine receptors, which is incredible. If we go to LSD, it's more dopamine focused. So while they all share serotonin and dopamine, there's a little bit more of a highlight, which means dopamine is a little bit more cerebral. It's a little bit more motivated, get things done, clear, staying kind of in the mind, focused, productive. And then if we go to psilocybin, more serotonin focused, more body-based, more somatic, more emotional processing. So the reason that all that is amazing and benefit is because, yes, it's valid. There's science and data on this, but it is very true with what's happening in the brain and in the neurobiological body for this to even be a possibility.
Yeah, I friggin' love this. So I'm just hearing, I think I'm hearing, anyways, people go, she just said LSD. Did she say that? Yeah, she did. And she's talking about psilocybin. She's talking about, Wachuma or San Pedro. How can we offer in the legal state of Colorado, where this company is based, these medicines to people that aren't in Colorado? How can people legally, safely, and responsibly be able to give themselves this gift? How did you work that out company-wise?
Yeah, great question. Valid question. I'm sure a lot of those listening are like, oh, how are you doing this? So being in Colorado on decriminalized land is, of course, incredibly helpful. Now, we ship everywhere in the US, which brings up the question, how is that a possibility? We practice under a religious sanctuary act, a church, and we also are practicing under a nonprofit. Now, that creates a huge amount of protection. Outside of that, everything that we have established with how we create our products is like a wellness product. So we're shipping something that is in a supplement bottle, essentially, because it is one of the highest quality supplements on earth, and the active ingredient is not on the label. So that's helpful as well. There's a lot within the business of how it's set up to be able to do what we're doing, of course. And at the end of the day, it is also your decision with coming into how you want to go about that process. But what I can say and confidently say is we have served over 70,000 people at this point over the last 3 years.
Wow.
We've never had one person come back with any concern, truly. And that's like with the truest, that I can express, which is amazing. So we take that with the utmost integrity, always. We're always with keeping up to date with best practices and just truly an honor and so much gratitude to be able to serve and do what we're doing in the landscape that we're operating in.
Yeah. So grateful for you being willing to go through all the hoops, set up all the structures and systems to protect you, to protect others, and be able to provide this incredible, fresh perspectives. Yes. Lowering inflammation. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So since we spoke, I'm on my second 2 weeks of a detox. The first,
Yes, I can't wait to hear. Yeah.
well, for the first 2 weeks of the Ayurvedic detox, I didn't microdose and I was a mess. I was such a mess. I didn't get to have my coffee in the morning. I didn't get to have my glass of wine at night. I didn't get to have my tortilla chips when I wanted I didn't get it to do anything. And I was a mess. And so a lot came up and I did my best to integrate it. But then I took a week off. And now I've done 1 week of the second 2 weeks of my detox. And I just said, screw it. I'm going to microdose because that was hell. I'm not going to do that again. It's been elegant. It's been effortless. It's been grounded. It's been beautiful. It's been like I can receive the emotion coming up and not just integrate it. Like the wisdom is right there. The perspective is right there. The gratitude is right there. It's been totally different. And I personally am just muscle testing every day, which one my body wants, because I've developed that capacity. And it is different day to day. I'm going into doing 4 flamenco shows this weekend. I've never done that in my life. I'm fine. So I can completely notice the grounding, the alignment. It's like I have a guide with me, a partner with me, a capacity with me, and a rewiring. I've had probably one of the biggest breakthroughs of my entire existence just this past week. And I've been chipping away at it for a good decade, but like it crumbled and it was elegant and beautiful. And I have to say, I've been on golden rule mushrooms this past week and look at this completely same experience, but different. Black and white. What are your reflections, Tiffany? What do you think's happening? What do you think's happening?
Coach me. Just kidding. Well, my reflection is I'm just receiving everything you shared because it's such a beautiful experience to witness you in that. So thank you for sharing that. And that's the magic. That's the medicine magic. And it's a tool, like you said, and it's a resource. It could have helped guide you into exploring those layers more deeply. But it's not doing it for you. You decided. Yeah, you met it. You met it, and it's supporting you in that experience, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. And I'm also doing it consciously. Like I know from some of my clients that do, I'm in New Mexico, so cannabis is legal here. We use it to check in, not check out. We blindfold and we ask the medicine, help me stay in my body, help me see these traumas and meet them and feel them rather than use the medicine to check out. So I do the same thing with the psilocybin or the wachuma. I ask it, help me home. That's basically what I say. Help me come home. Help me come home. Help my soul, light and love, live in my body so I can be whole and give from the overflow to hear who I'm here to serve. And I almost feel like they're saying, okay, honey, let's go. Like 10-4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like Wachuma's on the this is so funny. On the walkie-talkie.
Totally.
Like talking to the psilocybin. You got her today? All right, we got her. Got it.
No, it's kind of crazy, but I feel like, it's real. It's conscious. It's alive. It's, in my opinion, benevolent. And I believe it's excited to be used for good.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a plant for
Yeah.
thousands of years, used so beautifully by indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's grateful and happy to be used so we can all
Mm-hmm.
be our best self. Do
Mm-hmm.
you, okay, so let's go into how you can support people. So I want people to know, you might be like, well, I don't know what to take and all the rest of it. So we want you to go to,
Yeah.
I'll put this in the show notes, goldenrulmushrooms.com/take dash hour dash quiz dash. And that way you can really learn about what's best for you and your situation so that when you order something, and you can use the code Alana10, Alana with two L's, 10 for a 10% discount. So what does this quiz support them with? Because honestly, when I first went to the website as well, I was a little overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what. I remember what Shuma and psilocybin. That's my thing. So
Yeah.
how does this quiz help people?
Yes, yes. So it helps you get clear on directing you towards a product that is going to best support exactly what you shared, your goals, what you're looking to experience, what you're looking to receive. And so it's a pretty straightforward little quiz that you can take, and then you'll receive an email with the suggested product to take. Now, what a lot of our community does, and you're more than welcome to do this as well, is email us. Email us at hello@goldenrulemushrooms.com. Anything about the product, any questions like, hey, it gave me a couple products, which sometimes it will. What do I choose? Which one will best support this? And I'm in there all the time supporting all these beautiful questions, and I love to. And
Mm,
our customer service is amazing, fantastic. We have an amazing team. So just know that if you want something a little bit more direct and more, you just have questions, reach out to us. Now, there's so many other ways that you can get involved once you're in our community. We have a free online community that I run in Mighty Networks, so we can absolutely share that with you. And it's full of resources, full of so many beautiful resources. I also host a monthly workshop that you can get involved with that we rotate topics, and you have the opportunity to do Q&A on there. So there's so many resources, but just know that's a beautiful place to start is with the quiz, and then let us just take it from there.
I freaking love it. It's really, really important because it can be overwhelming
Yeah.
and you need to feel like connected, and maybe you
Yeah.
feel alone, and like
Mhm.
group of friends that are trying this. So you want to have community and you want to
Especially
go,
if you're new.
yeah. Yeah, this
Hmm.
is a wonderful way to get into it. The
Hmm.
other offerings you have on the site are also like ceremonial. Like if this is your first time
Hmm.
to actually do a ceremony. So we've spoken thus far about microdosing, but speak about how you're supporting people in having a ceremony. As you said, I couldn't hear her. I came home to me. I'm now listening to her. So to inspire people to do ceremony for themselves, and
Hmm.
maybe they're overwhelmed or they don't know how or they're afraid. What do you offer for ceremonies?
Hmm. Yeah, so we also have these beginner kits that you can
Yeah,
work with different medicines, but I share that because we also have like ceremony kits.
yeah,
And if you've been microdosing and you're like, hey, I want to go a little bit deeper. I'm curious to explore these deeper parts of myself, and maybe you don't have like the full capacity to travel somewhere.
right.
We specifically designed these kits to be able to support like an at-home, safe, effective little ceremony experience for you. So we have a ceremony starter kit, and those come with, we have 1.5 grams truffles, which are beautiful. They have a Yeti strain, lion's mane, blue lotus. So they're just grounding, heart opening, euphoric, and just blissful, quite honestly. And the chocolate is cacao, and it's fantastic. That comes with a guidebook and helping you set your space up at home, and music playlists, and just really just creates the safe environment for you to explore that in a way that's going to be serving. And the truffles come with 4 per box. So a lot of people will start with 1, and then maybe a couple hours in, they're like, okay, this feels good and safe, but I want to go a little bit deeper. Great.
Yeah,
You have another truffle that you can take and explore.
yeah,
So that's more of like your at-home experience. And
yeah,
outside of Golden Rule, I also support facilitated in-person experiences. And I'm happy to share my info if you guys wanted more support in person. It's
yeah.
just a little bit slightly of a different experience, just depending on what you're looking to receive.
I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
I have a dream. Maybe I'll tell you right now, that I have a docu-series that I want to create, but I want to be able to, as a call to action, I can't personally work with everybody. You can't
Mhm.
personally work with everybody. And
Mhm.
I can support people through these microdosing, but also the beginner ceremonies and the deeper ceremonies. Because one thing I mean, it happens in my life with friends, clients, lovers. When a rupture happens and the repair doesn't,
Mm.
it
Mhm.
stays unintegrated within the body. And then it creates these beliefs like, uh, life isn't safe. All men, blah, blah, blah. All women, blah, blah, blah. Relationships are, cha, 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 right? It creates this. And the fear of getting hurt again because the wound hasn't been integrated
Mm.
grows and grows and grows. And I know so many couples out there who are beginning to go, there's the same issue as we've had it for 10 years. We've had it for 20 years, and we can't seem to repair that rupture. And I've also heard the beauty of when they bring in these different plant medicines with a very beautiful intention.
Mhm.
Let's open our heart and just be together and see what happens. That this medicine with the intention, with the bravery, I mean, it's not doing it for you. It's just a tool to see your partner through the eyes of the divine
Mhm.
because it shuts off the ego brain. It helps you stay more in the body, more in the heart.
Yeah.
Have you, in all of the 70,000 people that you've served, have you heard of any
Yeah.
relationships really moving through these ruptures into repair?
All the time.
Yeah.
Truly all the time.
Yeah.
In my facilitated work and Golden Rule community, all the time. And some common threads are like, wow, I actually feel more patient
Yeah.
to hear what my partner is sharing. And
Yeah.
beyond that, to hear what they're actually asking for without inserting myself or reacting right away.
Yeah.
Then another layer that we hear often is I now feel safe enough to express my needs.
Yes. Yes.
And that's just one little layer of what that creates in a dynamic
Oh,
relationally.
yeah. I'm covered in shivers as you're talking. Like, this is why I do the work that I do.
Mhm.
And I believe it's why the universe is shifting. I know we're in a 9 year completing things. We're about to go into a 1 year numerology wise, but I think I've been one to a few working with my private clients. And I think it's time to go one to many, and that
Mhm.
I've developed enough mastery and humility and personal integration that I would like to be able to bring what's possible to more people. And I really feel, Tiffany, like we're going to be partnering on a lot of different projects
Mhm.
together because this works. That's just
Mhm.
bottom line. This works. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are hearing it now.
You
We're,
heard it here.
we're going to create something.
You heard it here first, people.
I
Yes.
love it. I'm here for that. Yeah,
I
I'm here
know
for
you
that.
are. And I love that we've come back together after, I don't remember how long it was ago that we met each other on a podcast in another lifetime, but here we are
Yeah.
again on another podcast.
I
Sure.
honestly think that was when I was in corporate and I was trying to build a mindset coaching business way before I even started working with psychedelics. And I remember I interviewed you on a mindset summit, and I was in this
Yeah.
tiny little apartment in Pacific Beach. And yeah, I remember, reconnecting recently, and I go, I think I know her.
I know this lady,
So full circle. This is
right?
life after that was life before psychedelics. This is
Yeah,
life after psychedelics.
totally. Oh my God. And we're both so much out of our spinning minds, in our
Mhm.
beautiful hearts, deep in our hips, deep in our soul, doing what I believe our souls came here to do. Yeah.
I feel
So
that
good.
too. Hmm.
Okay, people, I'll put this in the show notes again, but it's goldenrulemushrooms.com/take-our-quiz. And you will express all your truth. You'll be able to email at hello@goldenrulemushrooms if you'd like more information. When you go to checkout, use Alana with 2 L's 10 for a 10% discount. And then let us know how you're doing. Let this be an ongoing dialogue with the community that Tiffany has, a dialogue with me. And you heard it here first. I think this is the beginning of something even more impactful and nourishing for humanity when it comes to relationships and intimacy with thyself, thy body, thy soul, and thy beloved. So, what would you like to say to complete before we go over to Patreon to our after the show?
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks so much for having us. Such a beautiful connection. Very excited to see, where this goes, where we go, what wants to be created from this magic. And yes, if you have absolutely any questions, email us at hello@goldenrulemushrooms.com. If you want to follow us on social platforms, by all means, my personal one is I am Tiffany Hurd. And then we have 2 accounts for Golden Rule Mushrooms, and then Golden Rule Microdose. And any questions, we welcome all of it. Very excited to connect with you all.
Sounds awesome. Thank you so much. And as we complete this, before we go over to Patreon, just take a moment when you're done and just let whatever has been arising during this conversation have a voice, have a feeling, and then have a divine action from it. Because I sense if this is in alignment, you're heading in the right direction. And we want to certainly be that, one little step that's different changes the trajectory of your entire existence. So be willing to take that step that's aligned with your deepest truth. We love you with all of our hearts, and we'll see you over on Patreon. Mwah. See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life. It's kind of wild, kind of full circle how this morning is gone. I was supposed to do a pre-record for my shaman, Manesh Ibar, who's the one who originally got me started with microdosing from the new moon to the full moon, and then the full moon to the new moon, these different cycles as for my masculine energy, for my feminine energy. And so anyways, his plane got delayed, so we have to reschedule that podcast. But it's wonderful as we're completing this podcast with Tiffany Hurd, the original inspiration for the power of microdosing, the power of plant medicine, that these energies are still beautifully swirling around my life. So I hope you've had a great time with this podcast with Tiffany. Please follow up with her. The links are in the show notes of how to take that quiz to see what would be the best fit for you. And there will be a code in the show notes as well, so you can get 10% off. Please share this conversation if there's someone you know who could really benefit from that more grounding, clarifying, uplifting energy that's possible when we blend our bodies with these natural plant medicines. Please forward this podcast to someone who you think would benefit. And please also subscribe and rate and review so that more people can see this and the algorithms do their magic. I would really appreciate that as well. And thank you for sharing this time. You have so many other things you could be doing, but you chose to be with us today, so that means a lot to me. If I can be of personal service with my coaching at all in this beautiful community that I've cultivated, I would also love to hear from you. alanapratt.com/connect is how you can book a one-on-one call with me, and go over to the show notes. There's also a scholarship for you there as well. And please allow this women-owned business in Colorado with the beautiful use of plant medicine, allow them to bless your life. Thanks again, Tiffany, for being with us. I love you all.